Good morning, everyone. Let us discuss the topic static electricity. Before moving on to topic, let us consider two experiments. Here you can see that in the first experiment with a hair comb. Here a girl is rubbing her hair with a comb and she is holding that comb on top of a few pieces of paper. And you can see that the paper pieces get attracted to the surface of the comb. Similarly here, that this same comb that is rubbed on our hair, that comb is uh, held nearby a flowing tap water. We can see that the water bends, the direction of the water, it shows a bending. So we can say that when certain substances are rubbed against each other, in this case the comb is rubbed against our hair. So when certain substances are rubbed against each other, they are able to attract other substances. So the comb which was rubbed on our hair, it could attract the paper pieces and also it could attract the flowing water. That's why the direction of water changed. So we can conclude that some substances they attract other substances when they're rubbed against each other. Now, see this table here. If few substances are given, that is, we are rubbing these bodies against each other. That is, a glass rod against silk, ebonite against wood, and so on. So we should check that whether this glass rod, when it is rubbed on a silk, and then it is held on top of a few pieces of paper, and whether the glass rod will attract that paper piece. So that's our experiment. Similarly, we have to check with all this combination of substances. So in the first case, we'll see that in case of glass rod and silk, the paper pieces will get attracted by a glass rod. So you can just put a tick mark over here. And second case also, the ebonite will attract paper piece. In the third case, if a steel spoon and is rubbed against polyester, the steel spoon will not attract a paper piece. And the fourth case, the rubber rod, here we have to put a cross mark, and in this case, rubber rod, it will attract wood. So we can say that every substance do not attract paper piece when they are rubbed against some other substance. So we can say that only compactable pair of bodies when rubbed have the ability to attract other bodies. The pair of bodies, they must be compactable to each other. It's not enough that just any two bodies when rubbed against each other will attract another body. That won't happen. The pair of bodies must be compactable, and when they're rubbed, they will have the ability to attract other bodies. So from this experiment, or by using different combination of substances, we can understand this statement. Moving on. Okay, to understand this concept, that is, why does this happen? Why certain substances are attracting other substance? So what is the basis of all this? So for that, we have to understand a bit about the structure of an atom. Here you can see an atom is a carbon atom. As an example, I have taken carbon atom. So you know that carbon atom atomic number is 6, right? So an atom will have equal number of protons and electrons. So if the atomic number of an atom is 6, that means it will have 6 protons. We can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shown in green color, that is positively charged protons. The electrons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negatively charged, that shown in blue color. So an atom, in this case the carbon atom, since its atomic number is 6, it has equal number of protons and electron, that is 6 in number. So an atom is electrically neutral, or we can say that it is electrically neutral because of this equal number of protons and electron. Otherwise it would be charged, right? Here it is not charged because of this equal number of protons and neutron. When positive and negative charges are equal, obviously the charges will get neutralized. So an atom is electrically neutral normally. Now a neutron is chargeless. You know that, right? So this is a basic structure of an atom. Now, what happens in this case? That is, when a neutral atom loses charge, or we can say lose electron. When a neutral atom loses electron, what happens? It becomes a cation or positively charged. electron, you know that electron is negatively charged, right? So when it loses electron, a negative charge is lost there, so a positive charge is created. We can understand it that way. And similarly, when a neutral atom gains an electron, it becomes negatively charged because it's gaining an electron. So an electron is a negative charge. So when it gains electron, an extra negative charge develops in that atom, and it becomes negatively charged and is called as an anion. So cation and anion. So that I have given a statement here, that is atom is electrically neutral, that is number of protons equal number of electrons, but how the atom gains charge, positive and negative charge, by losing and gaining electron respectively. So this same principle applies to static electricity. We will understand static electricity. So here, when what happens when these bodies are rubbed against each other? What happens is that electron transfer. Electron transfer takes place when the certain bodies are rubbed against one another. But it does not happen when all the bodies are rubbed against each other. I already said that the two bodies have to be compatible. So when electron transfer happens, one body gets positive charge and the other one gets negative charge. We'll understand it through this illustration. That is, here you can see two balloons, and the balloons here it has a negative charge, here it's a positive charge. Similarly, here positive and here negative. So when two balloons are rubbed against each other, electron transfer will not take place. They are not compatible. So because the objects with the same charge repel each other. Here, if positive charge of balloon, it is rubbed with the positive charge of another balloon, obviously electron transfer will not take place because the charges are same, both are positive. So like charges or similar charges repel each other, so they are not compatible. And that is, now after rubbing these two balloons against each other, and if we take one of these balloons and uh, just hold it above few paper pieces, these balloons, none of these balloons will attract paper pieces because the charge transfer hasn't taken place. On the other hand, here if this balloon is rolled over a wall or pressed against a wall or rubbed against a wall, we can say the negative charges on this balloon will attract the positive charge on the wall. The wall has a positive charge and the balloon has a negative charge. So these two charges, they're unlike charges or different charges, so they will attract. Now this balloon, that is the balloon which has been rubbed over this wall, and if you take this balloon towards a few pieces of paper, this balloon will be able to attract those paper pieces. So that is a difference. So that's why that concept of like compatible objects have to be rubbed against each other, then only that attraction will occur. So that is, electron transfer has to take place. So one body has to get positive charge and another has to get negative charge, only then that attraction will occur. So this is the concept about static electricity. So this, we can say that a static electricity has been developed in the body. So we'll define static electricity. Before that, we'll understand like which object gets a positive and which object gets a negative charge. I have considered a few pair of bodies, okay, for rubbing, and how the electron transfer occurs between them. Like here a glass rod and silk. Glass rod, pair of bodies, glass rod and silk, and because of electron transfer, if the glass rod is losing electron, in that case, if an object loses electron or if an atom loses electron, it becomes positively charged, right? Okay. On the silk, it becomes negatively charged. If one is positively charged, obviously the other has to become negatively charged. Okay. Similarly, we can ebonite and wool. The wool is positive because it loses electron. In case of rubber rod and wool, also wool becomes positive because of losing of electron. So this is a few I've given a few examples, okay, to understand how that charge transfer occur and which object becomes positive and negative, so on. Now we can define static electricity. So it is basically charging of a object, that is, an object is converted into electrically charged one, either positive or negative, right? The object was, or the atom was neutral initially, but it was converted into a charged object. And if the electric charge produced in the object remains the same place in it, is called static electricity. So here the charge which has been produced on that object, it remained at the same place, right? So because of that, it could attract some other objects like paper pieces. We have considered that example. So a static electricity is developed in that particular object because a charge has been produced, and that charge remained at the same place, and that charge attracted the other lightweight objects like paper pieces. So that is static electricity. So it is due to what uh, charge transfer, we can say electron transfer. It is due to electron transfer. One object gains a negative charge and another one gains a positive charge. So that's how the charged object attract some other lightweight object. So a static electricity means that uh, the charge which has been produced in that body remains at the same place, because of which it could attract the lightweight objects. So that is the concept of static electricity.